What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Listography. Jason, Joe, Kramzer, and Joe Quazala joining us for the third time this week.
Hello.
Joe, if you haven't seen our other videos, Joe's a very funny stand-up comedian. He's got a half-hour Comedy Central special, tons of funny videos on YouTube. And the real reason he's talking music with us is because he also hosts a podcast called Who Cares About the Rock Hall, all about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this week, we've been talking about the Smiths. Tuesday, we ranked all the records. Wednesday, top 10 songs, as we always do. Today, we're going to talk about not the Smiths, but because the Smiths have so many non-album singles, we decided that would be a good topic for this week. Talk about some of the other great non-album singles throughout rock history. Who wants to kick this one off?
I'll do it. Yeah, screw you, Kramzer. I'm gonna get all the good ones in first. A lot of good. I could name 5 Smiths singles and probably be fine with my list, but we'll go outside the Smiths for this because there's lots of good ones to choose from. I'll start with an artist I've beefed with publicly for a long time, Bob Dylan. Not the biggest Dylan fan, to my own detriment, but I do love me some Positively 4th Street, one of my favorite. He's got the big organ, nice venomous lyrics, and it's just a really kind of catchy, shorter song. It's just a great track. It was one of my nominees in '65, I believe, for Song of the Year. Also on my list, I'll go to an obvious one, Honky Tonk Woman, Rolling Stones, just infectious, that cowbell. They took honky, country tonk, and kind of brightened it up and added the female backing vocals, and just a really great single from them. Another great band that had just oodles and oodles of great singles. Also on my list, a track that sort of, I think it's most people's introduction to this band. I'll go with The Cure, Boys Don't Cry. I always thought it was weird, the dichotomy between The Cure's album tracks and their singles, which are always like brighter and a little more bouncy and danceable, so we say on this channel. And they're sort of like downer goth album cuts. And Boys Don't Cry is a good example of that. We'll do one that, I don't know, maybe would make Jason's list. I'm going to go Dear God by XTC. Probably the first XTC song I heard. I don't know if just the only one they'd play on like terrestrial radio here in Pennsylvania every once in a while on the alternative rock station, the X. And just, the child vocals that kick it off, and the way, I don't even know XTC, but whoever the lead singer of XTC is, when he comes in and the track just kind of like explodes and gets bigger, and the really great sort of, biting lyrics. And finally, we'll do another band with a ton of great singles that never made onto their albums, maybe to their detriment. It's always tough because it feels like some of these albums maybe aren't quite as representative as the band. I'm going to go with Substitute by The Who, which easily could have made it on one of their albums and really kind of would have perked it up. They had so many great singles that they didn't include on the albums, and I feel like people kind of forget how many great songs they had. But Substitute's great. Pete Townsend was obsessed with Smokey Robinson's vocals on Tracks of My Tears. Just the way he said substitute inspired him to write this song, and it's a fantastic The Who song. So that's 5. There's a ton more, so hopefully we'll hear some more good ones.
It's Honky Tonk Women, you Philistine.
You're right, I blew it. Honky Tonk Women, not just one, many.
Twice we've gone over this on the channel, I believe.
All right, so of course I'm going to have some Beatles on my list. Could go with Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, but feels a little cheating considering Magical Mystery Tour exists. So I'm going to go with Paperback Writer and Rain, A-side, B-side. Love both of the tracks, both among my favorite Beatles songs some of McCartney's best bass playing on both of those songs. I'm going to stay in the Beatles family and go with Instant Karma by John Lennon. Sorry, Cram. Wrote it, performed it, released it within 10 days. Cool song. Love the drum fills in it. Some of the coolest drum fills of all time, played by Alan White. So good. Joe Quazala mentioned T-Rex in the songs video. I've got 20th Century Boy. Killer tune, amazing riff. Probably next to Bang a Gong, probably the second most iconic T-Rex riff.
Yeah, I'd say likely. That's one of those, like, when you hear the riff from 20th Century Boy, you're almost like, this came out in the 70s. Like, it really feels like you could hear it, like the Black Keys could be doing that exact same riff and it would make sense.
Absolutely. I'm sure they have. Also going to go with John, I'm Only Dancing by David Bowie. A couple different versions of this song. They're all really cool. Apparently I don't know if this is true or not. They say it's about like a gay relationship, and he's telling his female partner not to worry that he's telling his male partner not to worry about him with this female. They're only dancing. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was enough to get the song banned in the US, and it didn't show up on a Bowie release until Changes Bowie came out. But really cool song. And lastly, I'm going to go with a Who song like Joe, but I'm going to go with Pictures of Lily, which I think is just so catchy, so infectious. I love the Who when they do that kind of poppier sound before it gets a little heavier going into the 70s. That's my ideal Who sound. So I love that track.
Hell yeah. You guys got great lists. If I can do some very brief honorable mentions before I get into my top 5. I feel like a band that almost defines not putting their singles on their albums is Joy Division New Order. They just that felt like a defiant move on their part. They just would never do it. They didn't make my top 5, but it really came close. Also, I just love the Kinks, and they have a lot of really great songs that did not make albums. But my top 5, number 5 is the only song, and I'm embarrassed to say this, and I should probably dive deeper into their discography, but the only song really that I know well from Bad Brains, which is Pay to Come, which is an onslaught of energy. It's less than 2 minutes. It's one of the fastest songs I've ever heard in my life. It is just, it could get you hyped up from 0 to fucking 3,000 in, a minute 50 or however long. It's probably even shorter than that. It's a song I would never be able to do at karaoke because he is talking and he's singing so fast. It is just, man, that song, it fucking rips. And I love it. And then number 4, I'll take a sharp left turn from Bad Brains and let's wind up at ABBA with the song Fernando, which I love for opposite reasons. It is so beautiful. It is the musical equivalent of opening pristine white doors and doves flying out of it. It is, oh my God, I could get lost in that song and I would gladly do it because I would never want to come back. Fernando is just a great song. And I was surprised that it was a non-album single. I had no idea. I think of, honestly, I know that they most of their singles they would put on albums. I know most of them from the Definitive Collection, which if I can give a shout out to ABBA's Definitive Collection, that has just a ton of really, really great songs on it. Number 3, I am going with Sliver by Nirvana. A great song in their catalog. I believe eventually wound up on the singles compilation Incesticide. Unlike other Nirvana songs, it tells a story, which that's very rare for that group. It's very personal. It's about a little boy who is at his grandparents' place and he wants to go home. And if we can't relate to that, I don't know what will ever bring us together as human beings. But yeah, the chorus, Grandma, Take Me Home, and it rocks. Awesome. Number 2, felt like I had to go with a Beatles song. And for me, and I don't know, we could do double A sides, but I might pull that out of my pocket here if allowed. But originally, all I wrote was, and it's kind of a basic bitch move, but I think Hey Jude is just one of the all-time great singles. I mean, it is undeniable. It takes you on a journey. Um, just it's got the McCartney melodies that only he knows how to do, and then the whole thing ends. You know, he's doing his Little Richard shouting, and you got your na 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 na. It's one of the great sing-along songs of all time. It is. I don't know. I didn't look up his set list, but that is a song to end on. You know what I mean? That is like really incredible of a song, an achievement. And then number one, a song I already I've heard. I believe Joe cited it, but I just think "Boys Don't Cry" by The Cure is so amazing. The fact that that song I think is technically from 1979. I mean, what a great single, what a great hook. You know, it's one of those songs where the title is so good, movies have been named after it. You know what I mean? And I love it. And it's similarly to our discussion about the Smiths. It's like this song is so fresh and lively and not mascara running down your cheeks. It is quite the opposite. It's mascara running back up into your eyeballs and filling them with love. So that is my top 5 non-album singles.
I actually can't believe that song is from 1979. Like that is one of the more surprising things I think I ever discovered as far as like looking up music, because it just from the 70s, like that blows my mind every time I think about it.
It's really wild to think about. Boys Don't Cry is 1979 and Friday I'm in Love is 1992. You know, to span that, it's not that much amount of time, but when you think about what was happening in music in 1979, it was happening music in 1992. It's just like, that's wow. And that you can put out those two songs in those eras. Pretty incredible.
I'm surprised that didn't get more Beatles and Joe didn't go with Fernando, but it's all good.
Listen, I'm gonna get shit for that in the comments. Be like, oh, Joe didn't go with ABBA. What the hell? Every time.
Well, you're like leading a revolution, so you know, unless you want like a Mike Pence style betrayal from your followers.
I'm trying. Joe
All
got
right.
me covered, man. He got it.
As long as one Joe does. All right, I got a few that I have asterisks on because I'm gonna go. So I'll maybe add some extra to cover some spotty material here, but I'm gonna go with technically a B-side to Where the Streets Have No Name, but didn't really get popularity until it was released as a single. The Sweetest Thing by U2. Tremendously, look at Jason's face, you son of a bitch. I can't wait for the U2 episode. Yeah, really pretty, like bass piano driven, very cool, different sound, and Bono's falsettos never sounded better. And I've got some like this song and another that are on albums, but soundtrack albums, but were also released as singles and are pretty popular for these. So if they don't count, who cares? It's side 3 and it's our channel. So I'm going with Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen from Philadelphia. Really simple song that's basically just voice, drum beat, synth, and it just hits the mood perfectly. I'll throw in Miss Misery by Elliott Smith as well from Good Will Hunting. Absolutely beautiful song. I love the line where he's talking about met a man in the park who told me that I was strong, and I said, "Hey man, you're mean," or whatever. It's really cool, very Elliott. But let's get back to true singles. Gotta go with Ohio by CSNY. Tremendous, really captured the time, obviously about the Kent State shooting and getting Neil's really kind of grungy guitar on there, really cool. Then we'll go with The Clash with This Is Radio Clash. Really cool song, mid 80s. really simple song, just a lot of beat to it, but then in the background, like deep in the mix, there's all those like really futuristic, lasery kind of guitars taking off and going crazy and stuff. Very cool. Then I'm gonna go with The Sweet with Ballroom Blitz. Awesome banger of a glam rock song. So much fun and life and just celebratory good nature to it, and a pretty underrated little guitar lick. And then to grandstand off of Joe K, I am going with my number one with Love Will Tear Us Apart. Absolutely fantastic. Remember the first time I heard it was in the movie Donnie Darko, and then that's how I got into Joy Division, which is how I got into drugs. I mean, that's how I also got into other music. But it's a great song. It's got a tremendous, cool, like whimsical, saturated and dark gothiness synth vibe to it. I love it. I wonder if when Styx talks about him not liking Joy Division, if that's the kind of Joy Division he thinks of, or if you're really thinking of like Unknown Pleasures, Ian Curtis kind of stuff.
No, I just don't like them at all. But I did have True Faith by New Order on my bonus list because I do love their singles, and if they included them on their albums, I might like them a little bit more.
Yeah, they're a great singles band, New Order. I think they are great, and I will be. I again, do I chase controversy? I like New Order better than Joy Division, and I like Joy Division, but you know,
I'm with you 100% on that. Yeah, everybody let us know the hundreds of non-album singles that are great that we missed and didn't cover. Drop them down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Also check the description for links to all of Joe Quazala's stuff because it's all great.
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for watching. Smith's Week in the books.
Count it.
We'll see you next time.